I'm Haley Savola, and this is my reflection for Little Man, the documentary. So the first thing that I would like to talk about is the scene where Nicholas is resuscitated for 12 minutes, and Mom was really considering if she should just let him go or continue fighting. And I don't know what I would choose in this situation, but I think why I like this scene so much was that it really showed that she had the fight and the grit to continue on with this, even though emotionally it was probably very, very difficult for her. So I really enjoyed that scene, and I had a few questions as I was watching this video. The first question that I had was, how does someone get through a situation like this with their partner? Because I feel like this is a very taxing type of situation where they were on very different sides of thought processes with Nicholas, and one mom really had to do a lot of work at home with their other daughter, and the other one was with Nicholas. And I just feel like that is just a very emotional, very mentally draining. My next question is, how did she know the right things to advocate for Nicholas? I feel like there was a lot of health stuff going on, probably a lot that I personally probably wouldn't be able to understand. And was she listening to the doctors? Was she listening to other people? Who was she listening to in order to know exactly who she should be advocating, exactly what she should be advocating for? My next question is, does she still have a job after all of this? I feel like she was unable to do her job, whatever that job was. I think that's something not a lot of people would have the privilege of keeping if being in this situation. My next question is, how are people who are not in California able to afford care that's that intensive? She had mentioned that in California, they are able to be recognized as having a disability if born before 26 weeks. I imagine that not every state has that or has that resource to get help. So, my question is, how do other states handle this? Is it one of those things where it's like, well, you are kind of just out of luck and you have to pay all this money, or is it covered? And I just don't know if it's covered. My last question is, how is Nicholas today? I feel like that was a pretty old video, and I'm sure he's come a long way, and I would love to see an update on how he's doing and how he is growing up. Does he have a lot of difficulties? If so, what are they? Or is there anything that surprised the family about how he's doing? Something that I liked about this film is how raw it was. I feel like it showed the emotion of everyone in it going through it. I think it was a really realistic perspective for someone who has endured this, for people who have not been through this, and exactly how taxing it is and how emotional it is, how raw it is. Something in my values that I didn't necessarily question, but that stood out to me was, one mom was a bit more pro-choice and, hey, we should end this before it goes too far because I don't think this is something that I can handle. And then we have the mom on the other end who was like, no, I just feel really strongly that Nicholas has to live and that he's going to be okay and we're going to push through it. I think in reality, that's a much tougher decision than I think anyone realizes unless they were actually in that position. And I personally don't know what decision I would make because I see both sides of it, and just I think it's a whole lot tougher than anyone probably gives it credit. But it was a great documentary, and I wish I could see more.